Good to go.
Okay, I think we are ready to begin, and I wanted to introduce myself. My name's Jordana, and I'm an artist, a customizer, and the founder of By Jordana. You guys can check out my work on my Instagram. It's by_Jordana, and you can check out my website, byjordana.com. And I share a lot of my work there, so you guys can see a little bit more about what I do. And I'm going to tell you guys now what we're going to be doing today for this class. So I teamed up with Sharpie, and I use Sharpies all the time. And this class is really special because we are making holiday cards with a lot of really fun designs. We're going to use a bunch of different products. This is what I'm using, so I'll just show you guys. It's the Sharpie marker 45 count, and I'm obsessed with it. It pretty much has every color you would ever need. And then I am also using the metallic Sharpie markers. So that's what I'll be using today. You guys can kind of adjust, pick the colors you want to use. I'm going to use a lot of different colors, as you guys will see soon. But feel free to make it your own, personalize it however you'd like. And it's going to be so much fun. And I can't wait to see what you guys create. And also at the end of the class, I would love to see how your cards turned out, so you can post them and use the hashtag #MakeItWithMichaels. And you can also tag Sharpie and Michaels and myself, and then we'll be able to see what you guys did. And yeah, I'm really excited. So I think we're ready to get started. As you guys can see, these are some of the samples that I made, and we are using little cardstock. So it actually, I got these on Michaels, and it's a card, and it comes with an envelope too. So this is really perfect to make your own cards. We have them in this craft color and also in white. If you don't have these, you can really use any paper you want. You can cut paper into the certain size cards that you want. You can use a full-size paper and do a large card, and I would just suggest folding them in half, and then you'll have your own cards ready to go. And these are a few of the different designs that I'm going to teach you guys today. We also emailed over some templates, but if you guys don't have those, it's okay, because I'm going to walk you through every step of the process, and I can't wait to see what you guys create. So I'm going to get started with a blank card. And I'm going to teach you guys one of my favorite holiday borders. This is going to be the Christmas lights, and we're going to create a border along the edge of the card. And then after we're done with that border, we're going to fill in the center with a saying of your choice. So this one says Happy Holidays, but you can make it however you like. And other tools you'll need is a pencil. And that is just going to be to start your design, and then we'll go in with black Sharpie fine point or ultra fine point. So these are going to be the first 3 tools we're going to need to create our Christmas light border. I'm going to get these out of our way, and let's begin. So step 1 is to create squiggles going across and down, and this will vary, because if you're doing large squiggles, which I'll show you like this, you won't have as many Christmas lights. You could also do tinier ones, and then you'll have a lot more lights and a lot more color on your border. So this is more up to you guys. I might do something a little bit in between. And you can use a ruler if you want, or you can use an edge of a piece of paper. I'm going to use paper today. And we're going to just create a very soft line with your pencil along the edge, just to make sure that when you do create the squiggles, they're going perfectly straight and they're not tilting. So let's start with this one line. And I would do it as soft as possible because we're going to try to erase it after. Okay, so you guys see this? Another tip, I wouldn't get too close to the edge because we're going to need to leave some room above to add the lights. So just make sure you're dropping it down a little bit lower. And if you aren't sure, I would just go lower than higher because you want to make sure you have room for all the pretty lights that we're going to be drawing. So now I would repeat this step on the bottom. And since I'm not using a ruler, I like to cover this side so you can really see what you're creating and make sure that you have the right amount of space and that your line is pretty straight. But if you want it to be precise, you're more than welcome to be. You can measure on the edges and on the inside to make sure that it's the same. Also, stop me anytime you guys have questions. I would love to help and answer anything because I know we're kind of freehanding it. So if it's a little complicated, I'd love to walk through it with you guys. Okay. Almost done. And we have the last step. And since these are holiday cards, they're unique, they're one of a kind. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just gonna look really fun and festive. And the best part about it is that it's coming from you and that it is one of a kind. It's gonna be really special. It's very thoughtful. And the person that you're giving it to is gonna be so excited. Also, it's so much fun to make. So it's really great activity, especially for the holiday season. So this is step one to create these borders with pencil. We are now going to add our curved squiggly lines. So I would go along the edge and we're going to try to make it as even as possible, but don't worry if it's not. So you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. So what mine looks like so far. And as I said,
and we had a question come through. Somebody asked, what's your favorite color to use when you're creating something?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I really love all colors and I would incorporate every color into a design if I could, as you guys can see from my shirt that I'm wearing and from the other cards that I've made. But I think, I don't know, I have this pack in front of me with every color possible. It's a very hard decision and I'm gonna go with every color, and I would love to know what you guys are gonna do with your Christmas light colors. You could stick with green and red. We have blue. We have metallics. So there's a lot of options, which is really great. Okay, so you guys see this wiggly line. It is not perfect, and I think that's the pretty cool part about it. And this is just step two. So we're gonna be going over these lines with black Sharpie. So let's finish creating them and then we will add in the black. And it doesn't matter which way you start. You can start down and then up or opposite. It really won't affect the lights at the end of the day. So I have two done. We're going to continue along these edges that we created. And since I'm making my lines a little bit wider. We're not going to have so many lights, but I think it'll be the perfect amount for my card. Because it's going to allow me to use a lot of color, but it's not going to take too long to create, so I can make a bunch of these if I wanted to. Okay, so this is step one. Let me know if you guys want me to recreate this in smaller versions like this or bigger versions. I'll leave them on the screen so you guys can see. And now we're going to go in with our Sharpie marker. So I'm going to use the thick one, which is the fine point. I also have the ultra fine point that you can use too if you want it to be a little bit thinner and more detailed. So that's a personal preference. You guys can decide. And I think this is going to be so cool at the end to see how everyone's looks. So they're all going to look a little bit different. All right. So if you go slow and you try to go along your edges, you can also see if you made any little mistakes that you would want to fix up. Now is your time. Okay, we're almost done. And another tip I have is to not really pick your hand up and kind of drag it. And I think it leaves for cleaner lines. You can also go back over it if you wanted to thicken it up in any way or to fix little marks to make them more curved. So now that we're going in with our Sharpie, this is the time to make the lines exactly how you want them to look. And I wanted to know from you guys, have you ever made your own holiday cards before? I know in the past I have done this and it's really special, and the reaction that people get when they get their cards is just so amazing to see because you really put your time and effort into it, and I think that it definitely pays off when you see the reaction.
We have a lot of people saying that they make their own cards, some people saying that they make them every year. So I'm sure this is cool to get some new ideas and make new ones.
Exactly. And for these cards, we're really focusing on creating like a design on the border so that your message on the inside really shines and stands out. So it's going to be cool to see what people write on the inside of their design and then also inside their card. But the borders is a nice way to really emphasize what you're trying to say in your card. And it's such a fun activity. You could do this with your friends, with family, while you're watching Christmas movies, and it's just extra special. Okay, so this is what the card looks like right now. I'm going to leave the pencil marks and I'm going to erase them later. And I am going to now start with the Christmas lights. So we're going to keep our black pen, our black marker, and what we're going to do is create little squares on the tips of all of your curves. So I'm going to show you guys so you can see. We're going to make just a little square like that. So it's very simple. We're going to do it on the top of every one of these, and then we are also going to be doing them on the bottom. The one thing I will say is though, when you get to the parts where the lines connect, I would be cautious and I wouldn't add the squares there at the moment. So I would just stick to the ones on the inside. So like I'm not gonna add a light bulb right here because it's gonna interfere with this one. So just want you guys to know that when you're doing this. And we are going to add little squares. And the size of the squares doesn't really matter, but just make sure you have enough space above to add in the lights afterwards. So don't make them too big where you're not going to have room to add in all the color and all the fun. So far, I would say this design is pretty simple. It's really just squiggled lines and small squares. So I think it's a pretty easy design, and it's great for anyone to do. And you could really get as detailed as you want with these, or you can leave it pretty simple, and it's good for all ages to create this design. Okay, so now I did majority of the curves, and I'm going to pick and choose where I want to add extra lights to the side. So I'm gonna choose to do a light here, and I'm not gonna do one right here. And I'm gonna do one here. So it really is gonna depend on where your lines land next to each other, but just pick and choose. No one will know that it's missing a light bulb. And you can always add more. Okay. All right.
And we had somebody ask if you've ever added pictures to the cards that you've made before.
So you definitely can. And I think that creating a border is cool because you can insert anything you want inside of it. So you could add any pictures you want here, or you can write something. So it really is up to your imagination. And the border is just gonna enhance the card and, you know, create a mood. So you can add color if you wanted. If you're celebrating a certain holiday, you can add those colors. And it's really a personal card. So I think adding pictures could be very cool. And we also have some icons that we attached. And I have those pictures so you guys can see. And they're just of some templates that you guys can look at, or you can cut out and add to your cards. This is what it looks like. And these are just some fun additions that you could add. And you can also cut these out and color them in, or you can use them as reference and draw them yourself. Okay, so now that we have our black lines drawn, we are going to start with our colored Christmas lights. So pick out any colors you want. I'm going to do a combination of all colors, so somewhat of a rainbow design, but you guys can do any colors you'd like. And I can't wait to see what you guys choose. I also think it could be cool to do metallics. I love the Sharpie metallic pack, and we will be using those, but that could be really cool as lights as well. So it's definitely up to your imagination. And I'm going to begin with red. So to create these light bulbs, we're going to create one shape, and it's going to kind of look like a little drop. So I'm going to do it here so you guys can see. I usually just create the outline first and then color it in. And it should look something like this. And then I'll do one facing up so you guys can see that as well. So I'm using the green Sharpie now. So that's the shape that we are going to be using to create this border. And we're just going to keep continuing with colors. So you could do any pattern you want. If you wanted to do like every other color red, and then you can do in between green, you can do a mixture of colors. You can scatter them all around. You could do rainbow. Sometimes if you know you're going to be using colors more than once, you can add them in all at once, so it might save you a little time. Now I'm using yellow, and I'm just going to kind of do mine at random. So I'm doing a yellow here, and I'm just going to throw in the yellow color here as well. And also, the Sharpies that I'm using come in different shades, and that could be very cool to do shades of green or shades of pink to red. So that's another option for you guys. Like these two could look so cool together. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me while I am adding in these colors.
We had somebody ask if you've started decorating for the holidays yet.
So I am starting right now, but I feel like I have a lot more to do. I want to do more fun crafts like this, so I'm going to make a bunch of cards to gift. And then also I will be back next Friday teaching another class. So that's going to be more holiday decorating. So hopefully you guys can join that as well, because we're going to be doing some more really fun crafty things for the holidays. And I think those two things combined with Christmas lights is going to look really nice. Okay. So far, it's looking really nice. I'm going to keep adding some more colors. I'll show you guys some of the different colors that I have. So there's a lot to choose from, and I'm just going to use them all because why not?
And we just had somebody ask, do you have a favorite holiday tradition?
I think just being with my family and friends during that time is really fun and special. And I would love to hear from everyone what their holiday traditions are.
I think everyone's typing, so I'll give them a minute to respond on their favorite holiday tradition.
Yeah, I'm sure there's so many great traditions. I also love to hear what other people do. I just like to be home with friends and family and just enjoy that time together. And it is fun to do this crafting together, and just like do all those like great activities with people you love.
A lot of people love baking cookies. Making cards are a lot of people's favorite. Opening a gift on Christmas Eve, that's fun. My family always opens new pajamas on Christmas Eve. We get a new
that's so cute.
pair. Sweatpants and movies, that's always a good tradition. Gingerbread house competition.
Oh, that's cute. I like that one. Yeah, watching like holiday movies is really fun in cozy pajamas.
Someone said they've been baking and eating for the past 9 months, so they can't really consider it a tradition anymore.
That's so funny. I know. I feel like you can switch up what you're baking to try to keep it fun and new.
Yeah, you can get it more themed.
Exactly. Okay, so I am almost done. I love this color. It's so pretty, this light pink. And let's add in some light purple. Okay. Another thing you could do is, I tilted all of my lights going down and up, but you could tilt them going in different directions, and I think that would look really nice. And I have done that on other cards before, and I think just like that's how Christmas lights look sometimes, so it's fun to get a little bit creative with it and switch it up if you want.
And I know you shared towards the beginning of the class, but I think some people joined in a few minutes later. If you wouldn't mind sharing where you got the paper again that you're using for the cards.
Yes, so I got this at Michael's. These are great. I think they're the perfect size card, and they come with envelopes, which I will show you again. So this is the other color that we'll be doing next, but they come with matching envelopes. So it's really perfect. You can design these as well, or add this design to your envelopes and your card to have it as a matching set. Okay. We have one more to go, and then I'm going to do the next step, which is using our metallic Sharpies to add a little dimension to the lights. So I'm going to show you guys this one again. As you guys can see, we have little marks with silver, and I think it just brings a little bit of shine to the fun, colorful lights. And we are going to do that now, but you can use silver, you could do white, you can do gold. I have even like a metallic pink. So any color you'd like, I'll switch it up this time and I'll do gold so that you guys can see how both colors look. So we're going to just do a very small little mark. I do a little curved line, and it just makes the lights twinkle a little. So we're going to now add that to all of our light bulbs, and then the border is done. We're going to erase the pencil, and then we can add little sayings or images to the center of the card. And I love how the metallic Sharpies look. They really do like shimmer almost. And I think the lights are starting to come to life now.
And we've had a few people ask when your next class is too. I think they're liking this one so much that they want to join. So if you could just share those details, and I'll put the link to sign up for the class in the chat as well.
Perfect. Yes, everyone definitely sign up. It's going to be so much fun. It's next Friday, and we will be doing custom one-of-a-kind wrapping paper. So get your gifts ready. We are going to be making some really special, unique designs, and really cool patterns using Sharpies. And we're going to be making our own wrapping paper. So don't forget to sign up for that. It's going to be amazing. And I'm excited to see the full package once both classes are done with your gifts wrapped up in your special designs and then the cards on top. Okay, and now I'm just going to erase my pencil marks. And that's why it was good to do light marks so that they're easy to erase. And I would just be a little cautious. I mean, nothing is smudging, but you never know. So. And I don't know about you guys, but making this just feels so festive and it's getting me really excited for the holidays. All right, so everything's pretty much erased. And now we can add in whatever we want to the center. So we sent over some examples of different sayings. You can do Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas, 'Tis the Season, anything you want. You can also add pictures. You can leave it like this. And this is going to be up to you guys. So I'm excited to see what you guys do. But I'm going to write Happy Holidays in a script. And I think it's going to look really nice, just small in the center, in between all these really pretty colorful lights. So again, I'm going to go in with pencil because I want to make sure that my saying is really in the center. And how I'm going to do that is start with the center of the word. So for happy, I'm going to start with the P and work my way out. And that's a tip that I have because it's very hard to navigate exactly where your word's going to end up, and you don't want to have it ending up past the border. So it's nice to start in the center and know that you'll have enough space for the word that you're trying to write. And I'm doing mine in script. You can do yours in any font that you want. We attached some fonts, or we sent you guys some fonts so that you could use them as reference. You can cut them out if you'd like, or you can do your own handwriting or a font of your choice. So I'm again going pretty light with this pencil so that we can erase the marks. Okay, so there is happy. Looks in the center to me. And then we're going to do holidays. Okay. And if you guys want to, you can feel free to write what you're planning on writing on the front of your cards. Okay, halfway there. Okay, I have my pencil done, and now I am going to use the ultrafine Sharpies. And you could do, again, any color you want. You could do black, you can do metallics, or you can do a color of your choice. I'm gonna do, let's see. Do you guys have an idea of what color I should do for Happy Holidays? I would love to hear your input, and then I'll get started. I have pretty much every color, so you name it.
We're getting a lot of red.
Okay.
A lot of red. A lot of red. Some green. Metallics. I think if you're going ultra fine though, you'll probably want to stay away from the metallics, but red,
Yeah.
green, gold. Somebody said layer black and metallic.
Yeah.
A lot of red.
Like
red
that.
seems to be the popular answer here.
Okay. I think I'll do red, and then I can add a drop shadow, like which I did here, as you guys can see. And that just gives it a little bit more fun and dimension. So let's do red. And I think I'm going to do this color. It's like a pinkish red. Okay. So now that we have the pencil done, we're going to go in with the color. I'm just going to do a thin line first and then add thicker lines afterwards. All right, so far it's looking really cute. And you guys could also add different images or designs around your words even. So if I wanted to add like little snowflakes or stars to the side, that's definitely doable too.
And somebody asked, once you're done outlining the words, if you could explain the marking within the bulb again on the light, if you could show that.
Definitely. So you guys can see I am now touching up the lines, and this is where you can really adjust to make the words how you want them to look. So if you wanted to make them bigger or smaller in certain areas, this is where you'll do it because you can erase afterwards. And the little metallic lines that I did in the bulbs, that is not necessary, but I think it looks very cute. So pretty much what I did, I'll show you guys quickly again. You can see we just did little lines, and you could do curved lines or straight lines, just like any accent of gold, silver, or any metallic color. It just kind of makes the light bulbs look like they're shining.
And I know there are a few people who are commenting that they're not able to see the overhead view. So if you actually go to Jordana's overhead view video, you should be able to pin it to your Zoom meeting so that you should be able to see it.
Okay. So I'm going to erase the pencil in a little bit, but now I'm going to add another color to Happy Holidays. So what I did here, you guys can see, like, I know this one is metallic, so it's a little harder to see, but we added a small little drop shadow. Kind of looks like it's behind Happy Holidays, and it just kind of gives the words some dimension. Also not necessary, but I think it looks really cool, and it gives you another option to add more color or some more shine if you wanted to. So I'm going to do that with black now, and you can either outline the whole word, or you can just do a little drop shadow behind, and it's pretty much just drawing a thin line underneath and to the right. And so this line's very thin, so I really would suggest using the ultrafine because the tip's so small, and it's such a great marker to use for this type of detail. Okay, so far it's looking really cute. And once this step's done, we'll be done with the front of the card, and then we're going to move on to one more design. And I think the red looked really nice, so thank you guys for giving that suggestion and for adding the drop shadow. And if you don't feel comfortable writing your own sayings, you could print something out and do some type of collage or trace. There's a lot of options. You can also find stencils as well from Michael's, so that you can use those if you don't feel comfortable writing out certain things. Okay, looks really cute. I just need to erase the pencil, but I'm really loving how this design turned out. And let me know if you guys have any other questions on this design, because we're going to move on to one more cute border before the class ends.
No questions right now.
Okay, perfect. So here you have it. I think the Christmas light design looks really cute, and I can't wait to see how you guys created it, what colors you used. I think everyone's going to look a little different, and that's going to be so cool to see. So don't forget to tag us on Instagram and use the Make It With Michael's hashtag so we can see. The next card I'm using is going to be the craft color. So this is the envelope, which you can draw on if you want, or you can get the cards. And these, again, are from Michael's, and they're great size. You can also fold up paper if you want, cut paper into the right sizes. So if you don't have these, don't worry.
And if people saw any bleeding through on the top part of the card, would you recommend maybe using construction paper to glue on the back of it to get rid of that? Or do you have any recommendations?
Yes, so if you want, I'll show you guys. Let me just grab an extra card. So it doesn't go through over here, but if you want this to look all white, you could put paper there, or you can glue or tape together 2 cards. These come in a big set, so if you don't mind using 2 of them, you can just layer them together and no one can tell. So it's a good tip.
Perfect, thank
Or if
you.
you want to use any paper, you can cut it out and put it there. But I think this is pretty easy. And if you wanted, it gives you some more room for extra writing. Okay. Next up, we're doing this color, which I love. I think this one is going to look really cool. And I like to use the metallics on this, but you could use, again, any color you want. We're going to do this one a little bit faster, and just stop me if you have any questions. But first up, I'm going to create another one of those borders. You can use a ruler, or you can use your envelope or a piece of paper, and just make sure to drop it down a little low so that you have enough space to add a bow, which is what we're going to be doing right here. So we're just going to do lines. We're going to try to make them as even and straight as possible, but don't worry too much about it, because it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to look nice and be able to fit the bows and the color. Okay. So here is step 1, drawing lines in the same width around all edges. And then we are going to do one more round of these, but we're going to make them a little bit smaller. And these are going to kind of turn into little ribbons. And I'll show you guys the example again, just so you can see. So this is what we're aiming for. You can either do it up here or drop it down, depending how thick you want your border. I'm going to drop mine down lower and make the border a little bit bigger and stand out a little bit more. And it's nice that you don't even really need a ruler. You could just use your envelope. Okay. So this is what yours should look like. There are little ribbons going along the edges to create a border. And now we're just going to draw a cute bow in the center. So to make sure it's in the center, you can either use a ruler and measure. You can eye it. If it's not in the center, it's still going to look really nice. You could do one over here. It's all going to look really cute. And I'm going to show you guys how I like to draw a bow. And we also emailed you guys a bow that you can use as reference. So I like to start out with the center piece. And we're going to do this at the top of our ribbon that we just drew. So a little square at the top. Give you guys a closer view so you can see it. I'm now going to draw the bows on the side, and these might vary depending on how you're drawing it, but it doesn't really matter. I think as long as you get the idea and the shape down, they're going to look really nice. So you can either just do it straight, like one piece, or you can kind of cut it in half, draw a little curve to make it more dimensional. And I would just play around with it. And just as a reference, I'm kind of going to the bottom of the ribbon border we just created. And then once that's done, we just are going to add these little pieces to finish the bow off. So this is what mine looks like. Everyone's is going to look a little different, and I can't wait to see what everyone's looks like afterwards. And you could also cut out the bow if you wanted. So there's a lot of ways you can do this. But now that we have this down, let's go in with our Sharpies and color it in. So another thing is I drew a black border on these, but you don't need to add a border. You can just do it straight one color. So it's really going to be up to you guys. This one, I'm not going to add black to the lines, just to give you guys some more options to see.
And just one quick question, if they do want to use the black border, do you recommend using the metallic marker first or the black marker first?
Okay, that's a great question because I had to kind of test this one out myself. I would use the black marker first and then add in the metallic. But when you do add in the metallic colors, be a little cautious about going over the lines because they're hard to touch up afterwards. So metallic is very bright and it will cover every other color, and then the other colors can't go back over it. So if you are going to use black first, you can draw the lines and then just make sure to use this, but really draw inside the lines because that's going to be your final design.
Perfect, thank you.
Yes, thank you. Great question. Okay, so I'm going to start right here. And we're just going to color it in. If there's certain ribbons that you want to have overlapped, you can just make sure to stop it here, draw this one, and then come back and finish that. And I love how this silver looks. It's so pretty, and I think it shines even brighter on this color card. Okay. And on this side, I am going to do the opposite. So I'm going to bring this one all the way to the edge, and this one I'm going to stop here. All right, and then you can pick your next color. I'm going to do gold this time just to switch it up, but I would love to see and hear what you guys choose. And we're going to do and this one, it's hard to see right now, but in the light, you can really see it, and it kind of like reflects and shines. So I think that's going to look really cool. But from down here, it's a little harder to see. And since I don't have any black borders, I'm kind of just going along the edge of my pencil marks that I created. And if your pencil marks need a little bit of touch up, you can do that now with your Sharpies. All right. I'm on the last part, and then we're going to color in the bow.
And we've had a few people ask what color the bow will be, but I don't know if this is another time you'll be taking recommendations.
Yes, okay, let's take recommendations. You guys can choose for me. I am going to outline the bow in black, and I can do the inside any color. So I would love recommendations on that as well.
We're getting a lot of greens this time.
Okay, I like that. I think that's really nice.
Perfect.
Okay, so we're almost done. I'm just gonna finish with the silver here. So you guys can see this part was pretty quick, and you can really just do it however you'd like. So I thought it was kind of cool to overlap in different areas, and I think it makes it a little bit more realistic for a ribbon and for like wrapping a gift. But you can do it however you like. So if you wanted the two silvers to be on top and the golds to be on bottom, just know that before you color it in so that you can adjust accordingly. Okay, so since we are almost done, I'm going to outline this now with the black. And I wanted to outline the bow to make it really pop and stand out. And now we're going to do green. So I love this green. It's really bright. So I think it's going to look awesome. Okay, that's one part of it. And then I'm going to do some shading so that we can really make it look dimensional. And that's just using all different shades of green and trying to overlap it a little to blend it in. And it's a little hard to see with the lighting, but you guys can see a little bit better now how the metallics really shine and the greens are starting to blend together. Okay. And then the inside of the card, you can do whatever you want. Once again, totally personalized, one of a kind, unique, so you guys can decide what you want to do. You can also color in this little center part of the ribbon metallic to tie it all in together. And there you have it. It looks so cute. I'm going to show you guys this one again just so you can see the different options. And here are some of my cards that I made. And I can't wait to see how yours turned out. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I know that this one we did a little bit faster, but it's very simple with just the lines, and then drawing the bow I think would take the longest. So if you wanted to practice the bow separately to make sure that it looks exactly how you want it to look, or it could be really cool to cut it out and add it on as a last minute like applique. So there's a lot that you can do with it, and I think that their cards are really special, and I'm excited to see how you guys created your designs, and I'm really excited to hear the reactions that you get when you give them out. Okay, so let me know again if you guys have any questions. Again, my Instagram is by_Jordana. So if you have questions, you can ask me there. Don't forget to tag me, Sharpie and Michaels, all on Instagram. And we are so excited to see what you guys made. So thank you so much. Bye, everyone.